chemistry, its roots and its branches. It's me, Moser, and after this video, you should be able to define chemistry as well as describe some of the methods that are used by chemists to study matter. You should also be able to describe the major branches of chemistry and identify what they're concerned with, as well as where there are some overlaps. You already need to know, well, you know this, what matter is. Let's go. So, chemistry is a physical science, but what does that mean? The physical sciences study inanimate things. Those are things that are non-living, and that includes everything from atoms and molecules to things as hard to think about as energy, as simple as rocks, and up to things as grand and complex as entire galaxies. The physical sciences cover all of that. But chemistry is the physical science that's concerned with matter. It's the study of the composition of matter, the structure and properties of matter, and the changes that matter undergoes. Now, in order to study matter, chemists use both direct observations and measurements and inferences. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between those two types of tools. An observation is data that is obtained directly through the senses. An observation can be information that you can see or touch, things that you can hear, things that can be described because you directly got the data using your senses. This can include making measurements, like measuring the volume of a liquid in a graduated cylinder. This can include measuring the mass of a substance using something like a triple beam balance. And this can include observations that describe what's happening. There is a vapor over the beaker and there are bubbles rising up through the liquid. These are all direct observations. Now, what's different about an inference? An inference is a conclusion, and it's drawn from observations and evidence, but the thing that you're inferring isn't directly observed. This is really important in chemistry. I mean, you take it for granted that when we show you a picture like this and say, this is an atom, or a picture like this and say, this is a molecule, that we know what we're talking about, but in fact, that's the best picture we have of a molecule. We can't directly observe atomic level structures, but we can infer things about the structure of an atom or a molecule based on evidence of their behavior, based on observations of their behavior. So inferences are super important in chemistry because there's a whole lot of chemistry that cannot be directly observed. Now, those tools of observation and inference, of measurement and gathering evidence and interpreting that evidence, inform all the branches of chemistry. And these are the branches of chemistry we're going to talk about. We're going to start off with inorganic chemistry. That's what you're going to be doing this year. And inorganic chemistry looks at things like metallic salts and metals and other compounds that aren't, well, wait a minute. We did this backwards. We should start off talking about organic chemistry. It's actually a little easier to talk about organic chemistry first because inorganic is everything organic's not. Organic chemistry looks at carbon-based molecules, carbon-based compounds. This is a lovely cyclical something full of carbons. They're not marked. It's sort of a trick organic chemists pull. Here's another lovely carbon compound, one of my favorites, caffeine. It's got 8 carbons in there. It's a whole lot of carbon. So organic chemistry is the study of carbon-containing compounds, and inorganic chemistry, well, that's the study of compounds that don't have carbon in them. Okay, seems simple enough. a lovely carbon-based life form like yourself might find organic chemistry pretty important. Pro tip, never confuse organic chemistry and organic farming. Organic chemists love to make fun of this, but organic farming is pretty much the exact opposite of organic chemistry. Actually, most of the big pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides that are used in agriculture are organic chemicals. So organic farming is pretty much the practice of farming without organic chemicals. Well, that's confusing. Anyway, just a minor distinction. Biochemistry is the study of the chemical processes that occur in living things, from pineapples to parrots. I know it's not a parrot. From rabbits to roaches, but most especially in humans, one of our favorite carbon-based life forms. Because these biochemical processes are happening in carbon-based life forms, which all life on this planet is, you might suspect that there's some overlap with organic chemistry. And boy, you'd be right. Physical chemistry, or P-Chem as it's often known, on the other hand, is largely about physical changes that chemicals go through as they're reacting, as they're changing. Physical chemistry concerns itself with changes in heat and energy, in chemical reactions, and in larger systems. Pretty important stuff. Analytical chemistry, interestingly enough, has to have a little bit of a toe in all of these buckets of water. Because analytical chemistry is the process really of taking unknowns and making them knowns. This is the Mars rover, but you already knew that. The Mars rover carries in its belly an entire analytical chemistry laboratory. It's amazing, amazing. So when that Mars rover encounters a chemical, it has to be able to analyze it, whether it's an organic chemical or an inorganic chemical, whether it's a chemical that could have possibly originated in a living thing, that would be biochemistry, and it's got to be able to analyze features of the way those chemicals react with one another. That starts to fall into P-Chem, or physical chemistry. So analytical chemistry touches on all other areas of chemistry, but it just answers questions. And then there's theoretical chemistry. Theoretical chemistry uses many tools to create underlying theoretical foundations for modern chemistry. From the behavior of chemicals and the way they interact, to theories about structure of atoms and molecules. A lot of theoretical chemistry these days involves computer modeling. It's pretty heady stuff. There. Let's go back and review our objectives for this video. Okay, are you able to define chemistry as the study of matter and the changes it goes through? Can you describe some of the tools and methods used by chemists to study matter, such as inferences and observations? And can you describe the major branches of chemistry, identify what they work with, and identify where they overlap? Well, if not, feel free to ask questions, but that's it, folks.